Hey guys, as we all know that budget is just around the corner. There's a lot of discussion which is taking place all across the country. At one end, this budget has to be a populistic budget because this being the last term for the government to serve, before which the next general election will come up. And at the same time, the government has to do a lot to improvise the macroeconomic parameters of this country like fiscal deficit, current account deficit, inflation, the rupee depreciation, etc., so that it can spur the growth at the other end. So having a little overview over all these factors are very important to understand and analyze as in how this budget could be acting as a growth momentum and could spur growth into the economy at large. First, from the revenue point of view, one has to understand that the macroeconomic parameters of this country has to get improvised. The fiscal deficit has to be brought down from 6.2% to 5.8% of the GDP, which means that the government of India will incur a lot of borrowings from the market at one end. And at the same time, by reducing the fiscal deficit, the inflation will be under the control, which indirectly will help in improvising the employment rate in the country. At the same time, the private capex is also expected to increase by 10 to 15%, unlike the last year, which is going at a rate of 25% of the GDP. Now, from the taxation point of view, it is very important. Under the new tax regime, the investors are exempted from paying income tax up till 2.5 lakhs. However, the discussions are going on to increase it to 5 lakhs of the rupees, so that there would be more liquidity under the hands of the investors at large. Also, under the ATC benefits, it is expected that the limits to get increased from 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs. This is primarily done so that more disposable income could be under the hands of people, especially when the inflation is roaring high. Also, under the ATD benefits, the health insurance premium has to get increased from 25,000 to 30,000 rupees. So, by doing all these and taking all these steps, the Aam Aadmi will get benefited. Now, there is a very big discussion about the capital gains. Though, within equities, the short term and long term are charged at the rate of 15% and 10% respectively. There is a discussion that the longevity of the short term needs to get increased to 3 years period within the equity market. This can in fact have a negative impact over the markets at large. Also, the government needs to come up with a lot of other sources to reduce the pilferages and increase the revenues. For example, within the insurance sector, the ULIPs have to be basically brought under the capital gains, where the switches under the ULIPs could help in incur more resources to the government at one end. Also, the listed zero coupon debentures, the interest incurring out of it can also be brought within the capital gains, which could help in improvising the revenue sources of the government of India. To understand from the expenditure point of view, it is very important for this government to increase the capex so that more and more devolution of the money could be brought within the infrastructure sector. And also within the infrastructure sector, manufacturing has to be focused in, for which the government is doing a lot in improvising the supply chain infrastructures and to increase the semiconductors manufacturing in this country. There is a lot of push to be given to the private capex as well, for which incentivization to these private sectors have to be brought in. The disinvestment is again a big topic, where most of the PSUs like Concord, like BPCL, like Oil India needs to get disinvested so that the government can mobilize more and more of resources which could spur the growth within the economy. Also, the startup ecosystem has to get improvised. It has been seen that 50% of the startups have failed during the last year, primarily because of the slowdown which the US has brought within the globe. So, government has to push a lot to improvise the startup ecosystem so that new innovation, new ideas and new foreign funds can be brought within the country, which could spur the investments and growth within the economy. And last but not the least, the government has to work a lot over the subsidies, especially the food and fertilizer subsidies, to reduce it, which ultimately will reduce the fiscal deficit of the country. So, by improvising over the startup ecosystem, subsidies, working a lot over the disinvestments, and especially incentivizing the capex, private capex, are few of the factors through which the government can basically increase the expenditure of the country, thereby bringing demand within the economy. This will definitely help in improvising the growth and can help the economy to get out of the slowdown, unlike that which is faced in the Western world. So guys, waiting cautiously to see how the finance minister will come up in their budget speech. Thank you and watch us for a new video which is coming out soon. Stay connected with MoneyTree Partners.